Tell us a little more about what's in this book and the people that you've interviewed, because I know you have a lot of very successful people.
Yeah. So, I focused on 15 different women around the world, 6 different continents. And really the goal was to show a few things. First off, show the diversity of women in the space. So we've got about 80% women of color that are featured in the book. But what's really interesting to me is that they're all doing something different. Some of them are celebrities using their platforms. Some of them are venture capitalists that are doing some of the earliest investing. The reasons you have some of these products are because of women like this. I have a member of the European Parliament that's like literally changing the way the laws work in the EU.
Wow.
And then lots of women that are scientists and CEOs that are building plant-based companies or other future of food technologies. So like cultivated meats is one of them, but there's also things like precision fermentation, which is another way to make animal protein without the animal. Some women are making like human milk. Like for instance, there's 2 different chapters about women that are making human milk that we can consume instead of cow milk.
Well, that would be amazing for the formula shortage, right? I mean,
exactly. Yeah. So there's a lot of different applications for human milk. One of them is a breast milk alternative, obviously. For folks that are interested in the environmental aspect, about 10% of the global liquid dairy market goes to infant formula. So from an environmental standpoint, it's actually a tremendous impact on the planet because dairy is extremely, carbon emitting and methane emitting and nitrous oxide emitting, right? But there's also really interesting new technology. There's a chapter on there, a company called Turtle Tree, where they are taking what would otherwise be a like cow-based, like say lactoferrin or something like that, and making a human version.
Oh.
So there's over 2,000 ingredients in milk.
Tortuga tree.
There you go. So you would know this well, right? You know some of the different, like very important, like health promoting aspects of milk. It also comes with a lot of baggage because it's for a cow.
Yeah, but also the form of milk you're eating too, right? Because 2% or whatever is going to be packed filled with sugar.
Exactly.
Depending on, and there are different elements in cow's milk as well that doesn't really jive well with the human body.
Exactly. So. It's like, but the thing about milk, that the reason why so many people from the bodybuilding space try to get black market breast milk is because there are things that are in milk that are really good in like growth promoting, but then there's a bunch of crap that's not, right? And so they're actually isolating the key pieces of the 2,000 plus ingredients in milk and putting human grade into products. And if that happens, we have no idea, like the long-term implications of consuming human milk it's incredible. Like there's early studies. Well, there's early studies that are showing, it helps with like IBS, human milk, like breast milk.
Because it's a better like substitute for like lactose. Cause I know like milk, a lot of people now have like a lactose allergy. Like my older brother has one. It developed one over time just by drinking milk. But like, would that be an example of one of the chemicals that it's just more natural for humans to consume versus the lactose in like cow milk?
So the reason that he is lactose intolerant is because that naturally you produce a lactase enzyme, right? And your lactase enzyme is the enzyme you're born with when you're a baby, and it breaks down your mama's milk. You are supposed to actually stop producing that. And historically speaking, white Europeans are the ones that consume milk. They're the ones that brought it over to North America. So they have this it's almost like a mutation that allows you to keep producing the lactase enzyme into adulthood. So that is the abnormal people. Normal people no longer produce the enzyme. That's why most like Black Americans, Asian Americans, places where they didn't historically keep consuming milk, they don't have that enzyme. So your brother's no longer producing the enzyme, and that's actually normal. Us that can keep drinking milk, we are the abnormal ones. It's very fascinating. It is specifically so you can consume your mother's milk.
That's really interesting. I mean, I've switched over to oat and almond milk basically completely, and now like when I try to avoid milk, it doesn't hurt me if I drink it, but I just don't like it anymore because I've switched.
Yeah, oat milk's delicious.
Yeah. So would that be, okay, so that's like natural. I did a good thing there, right?
Yeah, I mean, like I said, it's the white European genes, like the Nordics and things like that, where they kept consuming milk, and then that's why white people are more likely to not be lactose intolerant.
I have friends who have taken digestive enzymes. I think I've taken them as well at a certain point to help break down food within my stomach and, have it
like
transfer
probiotics?
Better. Yeah, stuff like that. There are like is there an enzyme that somebody could take for milk that is actually digestible from people? Like
it's called lactate.
I have.
Yeah, you've seen lactate. Yeah, that's what that is.
I didn't know that.
It's you artificially taking that enzyme your body is not producing.
Yeah.
But you can take digestive enzymes for some people. Fun fact: a lot of people that go vegan, they're not used to producing the enzymes needed to break down like cruciferous vegetables. Like if you haven't had a diet that's got a lot of legumes and broccolis and kales and stuff, you get like hella farty, it's like a known thing.
Yeah. When I started my like basically all protein diet, if I didn't get my vegetable or my rice in, I would have trouble digesting just the meat without something like that.
The fiber
to help. Exactly.
Yeah.
And I learned real quick, like
you will, because you'll notice things are a little different. Yeah. And that really goes back to, I'm sure you guys have had people on probably talking about your gut biome. Takes like about 3 months for your gut biome to change. And so that's why any diet that you're trying, you need to give it a few months, because of course at first your body's gonna be like, what the hell is this? Because if you've never broken down those types of things, they won't have the enzymes. So you have to give your body time to actually ramp up and have that. But you can take digestive enzymes that go with some of these. Like I took one for a while that went with cruciferous vegetables because I kept getting a tummy ache because I was a new vegan and my body, I grew up eating like chicken nuggets. I ate like crap. So
Tyson nuggets.
Pretty much. Let's be honest. I was like their number one fan.
I had some Wendy's chicken nuggets the other day. They were incredible.
But did they've got the new Impossible Nuggets they're going to roll out at Burger King. There's a new Impossible Chicken sandwich because their Impossible Whopper sells really well. You should try that. It's really good.
Yeah, I try to avoid it, but
yeah.
If you're gonna do it, though,
exactly. I appreciate the tip because that's big.
Yeah.
Do you have any favorite products that you've come across in your time in this venture?
Interesting. So favorite ones for me, or just ones that like really just amp me up about
like the cracker you were talking about earlier.
Yeah.
Like,
Ancient Provisions, by the way, just like giving my friend Alex Strong a little promo. It's banana.
The book as well.
So no, he's just like he's just a friend of mine. Just randomly, I get sent. My house is like hilarious. Like I get sent so many food products on a weekly basis. There's just like a mystery package at my door every day because of what I do. I'm really pumped for lupini. I'm just gonna like throw that one out there.
What is that?
Oh, okay. I'm teaching you something. I'm very excited. Okay. Lupini beans they're like per calorie, basically like the highest plant protein in the world. It's a specific bean. It's eaten quite a bit in Portugal. People eat like they kind of look like a navy bean or like a Greek bean, like the, bigger flat, like white beans that you can eat. And lupini beans are now being used for like all kinds of different really cool stuff. I have like lupini bean ice cream in my freezer right now.
Oh, wow.
It's really dope. Yeah, you can get it. It's called Wicked Kitchen. They're experimenting with it for ice cream. So it's like super high protein.
Wow.
It has no flavor or anything.
No dairy.
Yeah.
When my brother, he eats super healthy and like he was a vegan for a while and then he kind of introduced meat back in, but he still is health conscious about all of it. The biggest thing was, how do you get the amount of protein with consuming less carbohydrates, right? It's like if you want a bunch of protein but want to limit carbs. So something like that would be incredible, because I feel like that would be the search, is like the most amount of protein you can get in the smallest amount of, right?
Yeah, depending on what your goals are, right? The average American only needs like 50 grams of protein, maybe 45, right? But if you're like
working out
or you're working out and you have a fitness goal, you might need like 1 gram per body weight or pound of body weight, or sometimes more, right? So if you're trying to go for macros, there's a ton of different products that are like specifically really, really macro friendly. Seitan, which is basically like vital wheat gluten based meat. And that's what if you've ever had like vegan Chinese food, they have really good mock like fake meats in them. They're usually seitan. Seitan's really, really high amount of protein per, like my husband, like, well, he eats like a pack of seitan a day, like literally.
Is he vegan?
Yeah. It was his idea.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, interestingly enough. So seitan's really high in protein. These lupini beans, I'm really pumped for people to start trying them into products. So I have lupini pasta that Sprouts just started selling next to like Bonza, because I only buy chickpea pasta because it's like a great all-in-one meal for me. I don't like, I can just have pasta and veggies and it's like protein and carbs and veggies all in one.
Craig's has a good veggie spaghetti thing.
Yeah.
I forget, what is it? I used to get it all the time.
It's
but like
good.
the future is like a vegetable pasta, so you don't have to eat the bread.
Exactly.
But it's healthy and you can still enjoy pasta.
Oh, exactly.
With protein and
Bonza
everything,
is so, I mean, I am like such a Bonza stan. Like they don't sponsor. I have so many brands that sponsor me. Bonza, I do not. I just literally talk about them because I love them so much all the time. But there's next to Bonza the other day, I saw there was lupini bean pasta and it's the same thing. It's like per serving is like 21 grams of protein, like really high amounts. And so so there's these like really interesting beans people are starting to bring into. The thing is like there's thousands and thousands of plant proteins that exist out there, and we eat like 5, right? And that's another thing that is interesting. It's not a product, but it's a technology. A lot of people are using like artificial intelligence to create programs that can map and basically create databases that know what proteins are, and then they measure what the textures are, and they measure the tastes, and they measure, the boiling points and all these different aspects, and the machines can start to churn out ideas of what could actually turn into food products. And there's a number of companies that are doing it like that. It's really cool.
Wow. That's a whole different way to think about about.
I have a chapter. Yeah. I have a chapter on the AI and how it can improve food quality specifically. Because it's like, there's two ways you can make food. You can be a person in a kitchen being like, let's see. Or you can be a machine that can do thousands and thousands of recipe combinations in an instant.
Yeah.
Right.
So yeah, there's a chapter, Priyanka Srinivas, the Live Green Co. She's doing really cool work. She was born in like a slum in India with like straight up a hole in her roof.
Wow.
And is now like built like a Silicon Valley company that's like based in Boston, and they're using AI you'd find this really interesting actually.
Yeah.
So her background's at Target. She was like a Target like retail expert. And so she learned how people buy. And so she's replacing all of the crappy ingredients that are in food, not just like things that are animal products, but all the stuff with healthier combinations. That's what her entire like purpose of the company is.
Wow.
I have a bunch of her test products in my fridge right now of like new ice creams and things made with combinations of like super clean ingredients that nobody's tried.
Listen, if you ever need second opinions.
Dude, I was literally both of us at the same time. Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you. I was just like, okay, there's a list somewhere like, of all this healthy stuff.
Yeah, it's really cool how many different things are starting to converge when it comes to like the future of food. You know, a lot of some companies are actually providing plant-based protein to cut into meat products, even like just reducing some of the meat that's in a product, even like from.
So you get like a 60% meat, 40% plant. And it's just a steak.
Yeah. So
that's pretty incredible.
Secretly, they've been putting fillers in garbage meat all along.
Yeah.
There was a study a few years ago of Subway sandwiches. And this was in Canada where I'm from. And they went and they analyzed a bunch of samples of Subway chicken subs. And they found that they were only 47% meat.
No.
They were like half soy.
Oh, okay. Wow. Okay.
Yeah. They were, it was just soy. No, it was just soy. Yeah. But what's so funny is it's like, I'm like, man, like if y'all just took the like small meat part out, I could have been eating these all along. It's like people are like, I could never eat soy. And I'm like, you're actually like eating it all the time.
Yeah.
And it's like, they use this technology to like lie and save money when it's like, no, we could actually be using it to like create.
Promote.
Yeah, exactly.
I know. So that's what's so funny is now we're talking, I have, lots of companies I work with that are like, we're going to cut our product in to create a high quality protein that can slowly reduce the meat part. And I'm like, cool. They've been secretly doing it the whole time, but if it sells, like great. So that's one approach that is very controversial. Some people don't really like that idea.
How do these companies not like get held accountable for selling you chicken?
That's
not chicken.
Yeah. Like you're false advertising something you put in your body.
Well,
what if there's a soy allergy?
That was the big whole. So they did it was like a national expose on the CBC, which is Canada's like, BBC essentially. It was a big deal. Like Subway had to issue a whole statement and it was a whole thing. And like they say, if you look, it usually says like chicken product or something, like there's always like a fine print.
Yeah, but that's the problem with the words, right? And it's, you say one thing, it's natural chicken or whatever. It's like, what does that even mean?
It was born and it lived.
Yeah, exactly. I mean,
it was born and genetically modified, and now it's still
Super
barks
chicken.
and it looks like a chicken, kind of.
I mean that is actually like how they do it. They've genetically modified to have like these are the chickens that turn into chicken breast. They've modified the chickens so they grow super giant breasts now. Yeah. Because Americans have such an affection for chicken breasts. Like that's if you look at the top 4 biggest selling meat products, the only one that's an unprocessed meat is chicken breast, natural chicken breast.
That's the only chicken I buy. That's chicken breast.
Yeah. So that is the only one on the list that's not processed even. And
that's good.
Yeah. But it also is so interesting. And this is something that I also kind of bring up a lot when I do these like panels and I travel all around talking about like, how can we improve the future of food? We've done a really good job making burgers. Like everyone, you know, and their mom is like eating a burger, but we really didn't do a great job of chicken. And we need to like really get up like Daring. And there's some newer ones they're making some really nice new products, but we kind of are behind the 8 ball when it comes to chicken because the majority of protein consumed in this country is chicken. And most of the vegan products that have existed so far are in the freezer aisle, but like 90% of chicken is bought in the refrigerated aisle, which is the chicken breast you're referring to. That's how most people buy chicken. So we still have a long way to go. And one of the hopes is that some of the companies that are here, actually based in California, can make cultivated chicken breast. So they could actually just start selling, you know, cultivated versions.
Thank you for watching. Don't forget to drop a like if you enjoyed the video.
And subscribe and hit the bell for a whole lot more to come.
Thanks for tuning in to Studio 22.